The story of the midwife is a profound and beautifully quiet reflection on life, death, and the often unseen, unthanked labor that sustains the fabric of existence. She is the steady thread weaving through the dark, silent hours of the night, her work filled with both tenderness and brutality as she navigates the delicate balance between life's fragile beginnings and its inevitable ends. Through her hands, hundreds, if not thousands, of children have been brought into the world. Yet she remains invisible, uncelebrated, her labor unacknowledged by the community she serves. Her presence is both sacred and unnoticed. She lives in the margins of the village, carrying with her the weight of generations of wisdom passed down, a knowledge that is both a gift and a burden. She is the quiet strength that ensures the continuity of life, even as she sees the suffering that comes with it. She understands the fragility of life, the painful truth that not all will survive, but she continues her work, not for glory or recognition, but because it is what is required of her. Her hands, calloused and steady, are the ones that offer comfort and life, but they are also the ones that carry the guilt of those she couldn't save. In her solitude, as she walks through the empty streets, the wind swirling around her, she reflects on her role, the quiet, essential, unthanked laborer who is the heartbeat of the village. The earth, the wind, the smell of the wet soil, all of it reminds her that life and death are part of the same unbreakable cycle. And while she knows that the village will awaken and that her work will go unnoticed, she remains steadfast in her quiet peace, knowing that without her, the pulse of life would cease. She is a living metaphor for all the invisible forces that carry life forward. The people who go unnoticed, who give without recognition, who work tirelessly in the shadows, ensuring that the world continues to turn, even when it seems indifferent. The story of the midwife is one of quiet resilience, where life and death are intertwined in an unspoken dance of duty and sacrifice. Her presence, invisible yet vital, anchors the very foundation of the village, ensuring that life continues even in the harshest of conditions. She is the unsung keeper of the fragile line between survival and extinction, the force behind countless births that will never be celebrated. Through every birth, she carries the weight of generations of knowledge, passed down from one woman to the next, a chain that spans centuries. Her hands, calloused and steady, cradle life in a room lit only by the flickering light of a candle, and as the storm rages outside, she remains the constant, the one who carries life through the night. The cycle she witnesses, the one that begins and ends in shadows, is sacred, though unacknowledged. She does her work not for glory, but for survival, for the knowledge that without her, there would be no pulse, no breath to carry forward. Her role, though never recognized by the village, is indispensable. She is the silent thread that ties the fragile beginnings of life to the world around her, never asking for praise, never seeking attention. She walks through the streets unnoticed, the weight of her work carried in the rhythm of her steps. Her heart heavy with both the triumphs and the losses that come with each child she helps bring into the world. Even when the village sleeps, the midwife remains awake in spirit. The cycle never truly ends. With each passing day, another life is brought into the world, and the midwife is there, steady as the earth beneath her feet, silently continuing her sacred, unheralded work. She may never be remembered, but in her heart, she carries the quiet peace of knowing that life continues because of her hands, because of her dedication, and because of the love that flows through the spaces between the shadows. And in that quiet peace, she knows that her purpose has been fulfilled. It is enough. The midwife's story is one of quiet endurance, where her vital role remains unseen, yet deeply felt in the delicate balance between life and death. As the storm rages outside, the fire crackles in the cottage, casting flickering shadows across the room, symbolizing the fragile nature of life she guards with unwavering care. In a world full of noise and chaos, the midwife's hands move with practiced precision, orchestrating the birth of life without fanfare or recognition. She is not just a healer, but a keeper of ancient wisdom passed down through generations, a woman whose work is woven into the fabric of the village, unseen and unthanked. In the stillness of the night, as the world outside seems to fall apart, she stands as the bridge between worlds, the realm of the living and the next. Her steady presence reassures the young, frightened mother, while her ancient knowledge assures that life will continue despite the storm outside. After the baby is born, there is no celebration, no applause, no reward. There is only the quiet acknowledgement between the midwife and the mother, the brief exchange of shared strength and silent gratitude. The child has been born, but it is the midwife who remains, knowing her work will go unnoticed, her sacrifice unappreciated. Her heart, though heavy with the weight of each life she has guided into the world, finds peace in the knowledge that she has fulfilled her duty and life continues because of her. As she steps back into the cold night, the village sleeps, unaware of the storm that has passed within that small cottage. The midwife walks alone, carrying the sorrow of those she couldn't save, and yet a quiet peace fills her as well. The work never ends, but each life brought into the world is enough. Each moment of survival in the face of fragility is worth everything. In the end, the midwife's role is a silent one, her work unnoticed by the world. But as the dawn breaks and the world stirs, it is clear life persists because of those like her, who stand in the shadows, bearing the weight of the world with steady hands, guiding the thread of life, one birth at a time. The midwife's story is one of quiet strength, resilience, and unwavering dedication. In the face of stormy nights and overwhelming challenges, she remains a constant, unseen but vital. Her hands, shaped by years of experience, are the hands that cradle life and death, that ensure the fragile thread of existence continues despite the forces working against it. The storm outside rages, but inside, she remains steady, guiding another life into the world with grace and precision. Driven not by recognition, but by the sacred nature of her work. Her role is often unnoticed, as the world continues on with little acknowledgement of the sacrifices she makes, the lives she helps to shape, or the many others she cannot save. Yet, there is a quiet peace in the midwife, an understanding that what she does, though unseen, is essential. She carries the weight of life and death, the lives of mothers and children, with grace and resolve. She is a bridge between the fragility of birth and the uncertainty of death. And though her efforts go unthanked, her presence is the silent thread that holds everything together. As she walks through the village, her work completed but unnoticed, she carries within her the quiet pulse of life, a rhythm that will continue as long as there are births to attend to and lives to save. She moves through the world with an invisible strength, knowing that her impact, though unseen by the village, echoes in the lives of the families she touches. The midwife's heart beats steady in the silence of the night, a reminder of the profound and sacred role she plays in the cycle of life. It is a quiet labor, a labor of love and sacrifice, where the true value lies not in the recognition or praise, but in the knowledge that she has done what was needed, what was required. The world may not remember her, but she remembers it all. The births, the lives, and the hearts she has touched. And that is enough. The room trembles with the low hum of the storm outside, the wind whispering secrets through the cracks in the walls, and the air is thick with the scent of smoke and sweat. The midwife's hands, worn and steady, work with quiet precision in the shadows of the dimly lit cottage. A single candle flickers beside her, casting erratic shadows on the rough-hewn walls. The woman in labor cries out, her body racked with pain, her breath quick and shallow, yet the midwife remains calm, the weight of the moment grounding her. The room is small, suffocating with the heat of both the fire and the pain that surrounds them. There is no luxury in this place, no soft linens or gentle, comforting tones of physicians. There is only raw survival, this fragile, beautiful moment of life hanging in the balance. The midwife moves with grace, though the world outside rages in fury, unseen. The wind howls against the stone walls of the village, but here, within this cottage, she is the force that holds the storm at bay. Her hands press against the woman's swollen abdomen, her touch steady, practiced. She speaks no words, only soft murmurs, only the rhythmic pulse of reassurance in a world where uncertainty reigns. Outside, the thunder rolls across the sky, shaking the earth. But within this sacred space, there is no fear, only quiet determination. This moment, this fragile crossing from life to death, belongs to her now. The woman gasps, her grip tightening, her body clenching as another wave of pain crashes over her. The midwife holds her gaze, her presence steady, unyielding. It is not the first birth she has witnessed. It is not the first time she has held the weight of life and death in her hands. She knows the risks, the long, brutal hours of labor that can turn to tragedy in a moment. She knows the ancient, fragile truth that not every birth survives. But in this moment, she is both the keeper and the maker of life, and the world outside is forgotten. All that matters is what she can do here, now, to guide this new soul into existence. Another cry from the woman breaks the silence, and the midwife's heart quickens, but she does not waver. She is beyond fear, beyond doubt. The baby shifts within its mother, pressing closer to the world, pushing against the walls of her body with a determination born from the very earth itself. The midwife watches with a practiced eye, feeling the subtle changes, the delicate rhythms, the heartbeat of life that she can only imagine, but has come to know so intimately over the years. With a final, powerful push, the child is born, a small, wriggling form, slick with the blood of birth, but alive. The room seems to hold its breath as the baby lets out its first cry, sharp and fragile, a sound that rings with the clarity of new beginnings. The midwife's hands reach out, steady and sure, as she cradles the child for the briefest of moments, offering her silent prayer to whatever spirits may listen. The mother's face, flushed with exhaustion, softens with relief as the midwife places the baby gently in her arms. The tears that fall from the mother's eyes are not of fear, but of an overwhelming unspoken bond, an ancient connection forged in the fires of survival. The midwife watches, knowing that this is her moment of quiet triumph, but also understanding that it is only a fleeting one. The mother will care for this child, and life will go on, as it always has. The midwife's presence will fade into the shadows as soon as she leaves, but she is content, for she has done her work. She steps back, allowing the mother and child a few moments of peace, but her heart is already stirring with the knowledge that there is always more to be done. Birth is never simple. There is always another child, another life that needs to be brought into the world. The village, oblivious to her labor, continues on in its quiet rhythms. But she is not concerned with recognition. She is not concerned with the empty accolades of a world that will never see her. Her satisfaction lies in the quiet survival of those she touches, in the simple, sacred act of bringing life into this brutal, fragile world. As she moves to the door, the storm outside seems to ease. The wind has lessened, though the sky remains heavy with the threat of more rain. The village is still, cloaked in darkness, unaware of the battle that has just been won within its walls. The midwife steps outside, pulling her cloak tighter against the chill of the night. Her gaze lingers on the sky, the dark clouds beginning to part, the first faint glow of dawn beginning to break through. The weight of the night lingers on her shoulders, but she is at peace. There is always more work to do, more lives to be saved, more births to guide, but for now, she can rest in the quiet knowledge that she has done what she was called to do. She knows that tomorrow, the village will stir, and the routine of the world will continue. The women who work the fields will rise, the men will begin their labor, and the children will return to their play. The midwife will return to her solitude, to the quiet labor that she knows will never end. Her work is unseen, unnoticed, but that does not diminish its importance. She is the hidden pulse of this world, the silent heartbeat of survival. And as the night slips into dawn, she turns away from the village, slipping into the shadows, where her work will continue. Unseen, but always present, the midwife walks forward, her heart steady, her spirit unwavering. Her legacy will not be written in stone or sung in ballads. It will not be honored in feasts or celebrations, but it will be etched in the lives she has touched, in the children who will grow, the families who will thrive, and the silent, eternal rhythm of life that will continue on as it always has because of her hands, her heart, and her unspoken devotion. The first light of day spills over the horizon as the midwife makes her way back to her small cottage, her footsteps light on the damp earth. The village is still. The people have yet to stir, their slumbers undisturbed by the night's labors. But the midwife knows. She knows that her work is never truly done. Another birth will come, another soul will need her guidance. And so, she walks on into the quiet day, her hands already reaching for the next task, the next life that will cross her path. The world may never know her name, but she will continue, as she always has, to be the quiet keeper of life's most fragile secrets, the one who guides it into the world, and the one who carries its weight in silence. The night settles heavy over the village, a cloak of darkness pierced only by the faint flicker of a distant torch. The wind whispers, curling through the narrow alleyways, a soft, mournful sigh as it brushes against the stone walls. In the dim glow of a single candle, the midwife kneels beside a birthing bed. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth, sweat, and the sharp tang of herbs. The storm outside rages on, but within these walls, there is only the quiet urgency of a woman in labor and the steady hands that guide her through the most sacred of struggles. Her face, a mask of calm, contrasts the chaos unfolding before her. The midwife's hands move with practiced precision, each motion deliberate and controlled, as though she herself is a part of the earth, rooted in the moment. She is a keeper of lives, though the world outside may never know her name. The room is small, suffocating in its heat, the flickering flame of the candle throwing long shadows across the walls. Shadows that seem to stretch, reaching for the mother, the child, and the midwife, as though they are all bound together by an invisible thread, tied to something ancient and eternal. The woman in labor, her body trembling with each wave of pain, clutches the worn linen beneath her. Her breath quickens, her cries growing louder, desperate. The midwife's gaze remains steady, her presence a calming force in the storm. There is no space for fear here. She has witnessed this countless times before, the agony, the struggle, the joy, and the sorrow that come hand in hand when life is brought into the world. The birth is a fragile moment, delicate as a spider's web, and yet within that fragile moment, there is power that has been passed down from woman to woman, generation to generation. The knowledge she holds in her hands has been forged in blood, sweat, and faith. The storm outside howls, the wind crashing against the cottage like an ancient beast trying to break free, but inside, the room remains still, save for the rhythmic sounds of labor. The mother's body writhes in pain, her limbs trembling, but it is the midwife's voice that carries the weight of the moment, soft and sure. "Breathe. Breathe through the pain," she murmurs, her words a lifeline in the darkness, a rhythm that ties the woman to the earth and to the life that is about to be brought forth. Outside, the heavens rage, but inside, the midwife holds the power of life itself in her hands. She knows that this is no simple task. Birth is a gamble, a silent battle fought with blood and bone. Not every child will be born into this world. Not every woman will survive the trials of childbirth. The shadows on the walls grow longer as time stretches, and the midwife's heartbeat becomes the only sound that measures the passing moments. She knows the risks. She knows the bitter taste of loss. But she also knows the reward, the soft, sweet cry of a child, a voice that says, "I have made it. I am here." Another wave of pain hits the mother, her body convulsing with the intensity of it, and for a moment, it feels as if the world itself is holding its breath. The midwife's hands are gentle yet firm, guiding the woman through the pain, whispering words of encouragement. Her own body feels the weight of the moment, the weight of the generations that have come before her, all of them bound by this ancient, sacred act. Life and death meet in this place, and the midwife is the keeper of the threshold. Her fingers press against the woman's skin, feeling the tremors of life within her. The moment stretches, a fragile thread connecting the past and the future. And then, with a final cry, the child is born. The room, filled with tension moments before, falls into an eerie, still silence. The baby's first breath is sharp, fragile, but it is the sound of survival. The midwife's hands reach out, steady as a rock, cradling the tiny body, still slick with the blood of birth. She holds the child, her gaze softening as she whispers a prayer for its future, for its survival in this harsh, unyielding world. She ties the umbilical cord, cuts it, and gently places the child into the arms of the mother, who looks down with awe and relief, her eyes softening in the dim light. The midwife takes a step back, her work complete, and she watches the mother cradle her newborn. There is no celebration here, no fanfare, just the quiet, profound bond between mother and child, a bond that the world cannot break, no matter how cruel or indifferent it may be. Outside, the storm has lessened. The wind no longer howls, though the night remains deep and cold. The midwife steps back from the bedside, her eyes lingering on the new mother and child. She knows that her role here is one of silence. The world will not know her name, will not speak of the work she has done, but in this room, in this moment, her hands have forged the future. She is both unseen and indispensable, the quiet force that ensures the continuation of life. The midwife slips out into the cold night, her steps muffled by the soft earth beneath her feet. The village is still, the dark sky above pressing down like a weight. Her breath escapes in faint clouds, dissipating into the night air as if swallowed by the vast emptiness. She does not seek praise, does not long for recognition. Her work is in the silence, in the quiet spaces between the breaths of those she helps. She will return to her humble home, where the fire awaits, where the night will stretch on, and where tomorrow will bring another birth, another child, another life to guide. The village sleeps, unaware of the battle fought within the walls of the cottage. They will wake to their daily toil, to their bread and their work, and they will never know how much hangs in the balance, how fragile this existence truly is. The midwife is a part of their world, yet apart from it, unseen, unnoticed, but always there. In the shadows, in the silence, she will continue her work. The earth will churn, the seasons will change, and life will keep its fragile rhythm. And somewhere, in the stillness of the night, she will wait for the next cry, the next breath, the next life to be brought into the world. For this is her calling. This is the silent, sacred duty she has borne for generations. She is the keeper of life, and she will never stop, never rest. The pulse of the world beats within her hands, and she will guide it quietly, carefully, into the future. As the midwife walks through the quiet streets, the village remains bathed in the silence of the early morning. The wind has calmed, and the stars above seem to linger for just a moment longer, as if they too are bearing witness to the quiet miracles that unfold beneath their gaze. The moonlight glistens off the rooftops, soft and pale, a reflection of the delicate beauty of life itself. The midwife's steps are steady as she moves toward her home, her heart already preparing for the next labor, the next birth, the next mother and child who will need her guidance. She knows that the world will never acknowledge her work, but it does not matter. Her hands carry the weight of history, of lives, of stories, of survival. And so she walks on, into the night, into the quiet, the keeper of life's unspoken secrets, a silent force in a world that will never truly understand her worth.